My tonight's guest needs no introduction, I guess. So check this one out, you guys. 2002 Tom Brady championship ticket. Just it's a pleasure to have this thing in front of me. It's just such a beautiful card, such a rare card, and you know me. We're here not to look at it. We're here to touch it up and bring it back to life a little bit more. And I'll point out the flaws at first, and I'll share with you some things that I'm going to try to fix, other things that I'm not even going to touch because there's no reason to. It's just there is some minor wear on this card that's just going to be there forever, but we'll try to reverse the aging process on some of the other spots. So let's get started. So up first, you guys, right here I have a little edge issue. If you can see it, come on, focus. All right, you can see it. There's a little bump, and there it is. It is right there, if you guys can see it. So I'm gonna try to lay that flat back down. There is some sort of abrasive or abrasion right there. And I'm gonna have to see if my polish guys can lift off any if that stuff is dried on the surface or whatever. There is a print line, so we'll do our best there. There is a weird singular dry drop of something in the middle. There's like 3. 1, 2, 3. And then there is a pretty gnarly like surface scratch right there, you guys. My polish works great on stuff that rides on top of a card, but sometimes if it cuts into it too far, it's just, that's it. All right, so that's the front. Now here's a couple of things, you guys, I'm not even gonna try. When you see red, or when you see white coming through in the corners, there's no sort of like fixing really involved. I mean, that's showing us that the paint has chipped off at some point, or it's been nicked or rubbed. And my corner tool, you guys, and the techniques that I use, this is really to put things back in place, or lay things back down that are gently up, like sometimes some corners and such. But when you see white, you don't want to start digging at it because it's just gonna ruin it. It's just gonna get worse. So that's what I see on the front. Let's flip it over. And just to let me share with you guys too, I before even starting the videos, I thoroughly go over every card and look at everything. And there's a couple things. I went as far as I could, you guys, with my microfiber. Everything I pick up here is stuff that the microfiber couldn't get off. So even on the back, you'll see some like heavy fingerprints over here. You'll see there is just a weird faint scratch that goes up the back of it through the New England, see next to the D, and then it goes up into the card. All right, so there's just some stuff. And then you guys too, there's like these 2 holographic little, sorry for all the movement, I'm not trying to make you seasick, I just gotta be super duper careful with this card. There's like 2 pieces of holographic foil that are just floating there. If you guys can see this, they're not on the surface. I get a lot of good conversations with you guys during the week and private messenger and stuff, and it's like, and you'll hear me sometimes say, well, if it's not on the surface, it's under the clear coat, it's hard to remove. So it's like those 2 little things look like they match the exact same foil color as the contenders on the front. So maybe somehow just during the manufacturing process it got stuck on the back and they put the clear coat on it. So let's go through it one step at a time, is what I'm trying to say, you guys. So first thing I do when I see a card with any sort of edge issues, I want to go after those first and then kind of like work my way in, like work on edge issues first. If a card's dirty, use a little spray. I like to use polish as the last step if it needs it. So I just want to show you guys again with the microfiber. Like there's that abrasion right here, and then there's an edge bump. So what I'm gonna start with is penny sleeve. And I'm gonna use the tool, you guys. I'm not gonna use it, this can be used, it's a tool, so you can use it a variety of ways, but I'm gonna hold it this time and just gently go across because I've studied the angle on this nick down here, and I think I can just lay it flat back down. And I am moving extremely gentle, you guys. This is obviously a super important card and very valuable, and that excites me. That makes me want to make it look even better because it's such a beauty. So let's take a look. You guys, you can still see that there's some white on the card and on the corners, but that edge is back down. There's not that gnarly bump that was just like sticking out. Might be there a little baby bit. Let's get my bright light on. And it's okay, guys, to always put a penny sleeve on and work through it. Just a little extra layer of protection. And I'll, of course, you guys take pictures after the process and post them too. So I appreciate you guys watching and hanging in here with me. And I'm going to move as quick as I can. And let me introduce myself again, guys. I'm Kurt with Kurt's Card Care. So thanks so much for all the love and support and watching. So after the demo, guys, I always go over the cards thoroughly with little microfibers and the little finishing and touches. But I just want to get to the meat and potatoes of it here first. I want to see first if we can get these weird dots off. Okay, so for that, I'm going to use an applicator. I'm going to use my spray, and I'm just going to spray the applicator off of a camera here real quick. And I'm just going to get it, I'm not going to saturate it by any means. I'm just going to get it a little bit damp. And I don't mind that it's a little, obviously it's a liquid. Of course it's damp. But when I use my products, it's always on a clear coat so it doesn't soak into the card or stain the card. These 3 dots could have been on here for a long time, so I couldn't get them off with the microfiber. And I'm pretty confident that the polish or the spray will pick them up because they didn't look to be like scratches. They just look to be hard spots. Well, let's move on to the next thing, because look at that. I got it. There might be a little spot right here on the blue. Let me see if that's one of those. And I just go real quick, you guys. It's not something you need to leave on. None of this stuff is made to stay on your cards. It's just to hopefully get the surface looking good. All right, so let's take a look. Awesome. So whatever those dots were, they came up. So now I want to work on, I think we're gonna go at the, I want to go at this scuff down here. Let me highlight that again. It looks like some sort of abrasion that somehow the card picked up somewhere. So look at, I'm going to be using an applicator, but I'm not using the same one because I'm using the one in this hand over here. And this, you guys, is my polish. I'm just going to use a touch of this. Just I use my applicator in it, just a little bit on each side. And I'm going to go in here quickly, and I'm going to remove the polish quickly as well. Always be comfortable with the card. You don't have to work on it like it's, on display. I hope this shines up. That'd be so awesome. Such a beauty. And guys, I'll label this video part 1. We got 2 of these that we're gonna do. The second one has a few more cosmetic issues, so I'm still mentally preparing on that one. All right, so pretty good so far. I can see, guys, it's coming up a bit. Let's go at it again. It just looks like this might have been, obviously when this card came out, Tom Brady wasn't the Tom Brady of today yet, but it was probably put in a top loader or something that unfortunately rubbed up against a few times and probably got scuffed out. So even you guys, like if the polish doesn't, if you can't, sometimes like if you have like a print line or a scratch and it just goes too far, it's just hard to do anything with. But if you got stuff that's light on the surface, you can often get it to, even if it doesn't go away completely, it'll tone it down a little bit. I can still see that spot a little bit. I am going to work on it more. Let's just do it another time because it's fortunately not in there real deep. And what up to my buddies that always watch these with me, and you guys know sometimes you put in hours on a card, but I don't think you guys want to watch me for hours. There's also like a little fine scratch above his knee. Well, I'm happy to report we're making nice progress with this surface. The cards in overall, it's a very good condition, but it's just the devil's in the details, you know? So that looks better. I like that. All right, so now I want to go up here before we go to the back. This one, you guys, is troublesome. And overall, I mean, I hate to complain about a beautiful Brady card. I'm not complaining, but that one looks a little deep. The one right there. So let's just do as we always do, and we'll do our best. I want to point something out too when you're working on cards like this with foil, in regards to like having printed on foil or serial numbers. Stay away from printed on foil or serial numbers. I mean, obviously like autographs and ink, but those are printed on top of the card, like pressed on top of the clear coat. So as I share all the time, guys, my stuff's good at taking stuff off the surface. I imagine if you messed around with imprints or you know, pressed on letters or numbers, you could lift them off. So don't do it. Stay away. Questions? Hit me up anytime, guys. Hit me up before you ever try to do anything that you maybe haven't done before, or if you just need some help. All right. So let's find out together. Let's see, it's still on there, you guys. So this is just a fair example of, like, you know, when you go across cleaning cards, you know, sometimes stuff's repairable, sometimes stuff is not. So I'm happy we got those dots off. I'm happy that we got the abrasion mostly gone down there. There'll be a few more things that I'll probably have to mess with on the front, but overall, out of the 3 main things that I wanted to do on the front, 2 of the 3, pretty good. That darn corner, I am going to still mess with it and see if I can do anything, but it looks in there pretty good. All right. I'll worry about that later some other time. So the back issues, you guys, are the following. I cannot get these little spots off up here. I tried. They're not on the surface. They're under this clear coat, and we can't get under that. We'd ruin the card if we did that. So what I want to focus on back here is there's a hairline scratch, I'm sure from a top loader going up the back of it. And there is some super old, probably thumbprints or fingerprints on it that I could not wipe off with the microfiber. So that tells me just to stop, you know, just don't press on this thing. Treat this like, you know, the rare, valuable card it is. So let me see if we can get any of this this crazy stuff off the this line off the back. All right, so it's super duper fine, so I'm hoping we can treat it. We might be onto something here, guys, so let's try it again. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, look at that. Sorry, I don't mean to swear. I know my kids always watch these, and I'm sure your kids might do it too, but I can get it. Hell's not that bad, right? So hell yeah, that looks awesome. Good. Oh, I still see a little bit in the D. Let's do that one more time. It looked like just a... When you see a weird scratch like that, it almost never comes out. It was there from something digging into the surface rather than like the factory lines that sometimes you can lift off. Well, I know you guys are watching it on social media through a phone camera, and I try to make it look as good as I can, but God, that one worked out great, you guys. That was in there pretty good. All right, cool. So that, you guys, obviously, if you're watching this, you see the chipped up edges. That is not something that my corner tool is gonna fix. That just happened to these cards, you know what I mean? So that looks good. Now there's another line in here that I just wanted to see if we can fix. Before I do that, you guys, let's just go at the old heavy thumbprints down here. And I am going to avoid, of course, the serial number and everything. I just want to get it. I'm adjusting my light, you guys. Sorry if the light goes on and off. It's got this new desk light, and I think it has like a timer or something stupid on it. So I'm going to be very careful in this area. And I'm just applying you guys in little areas and going in and out. I just like to work on small areas at a time so I can focus on that area and just just knock it out in little chunks rather than like throwing it all over it and forgetting like what I'm focusing on. Cool. That heavy old, if you guys see heavy old prints or oily prints that you can't get off with a microfiber, the spray or polish rocks and pulls that off. Well, I am happy with the back. I wish that those weird things I could get rid of. They're just under it. I can't. But that was sweet, you guys. I know it's just little things, but it does make a pretty big difference. And I'm gonna go over it a few more times. Appreciate you guys watching. Talk to you soon. I'm Kurt with Kurt's Card Care.